Julie got pulled over twice. And, people from Boston, when they get tickets, they don't get it, because they just have this narrow way of thinking, and it's just pure aggression all times.
Yeah.
When I get pulled over, I want the cop to know I'm scared shitless. I'm so sad. I'm concerned of why I got pulled over. I'm a bad person. I want a mental breakdown right there. I'm not going to lie, I really have to pee right now. Just wanted to start the podcast off by saying that the timing is not good.
That is tough. We were literally just hanging out for like a good 20 minutes.
Been here for about an hour. Just wanted to throw that out there that I have to pee. He's like Forrest Gump. I have to pee. This guy's an All-American. Yeah, what do you have to say for yourself? I have to pee. I know I just butchered that quote. Episode 22 of the It's Always Something podcast, produced by my bestie, my Brody, Hurley, and Big Night Media, our pal portrait. Hurley was talking to me about how he was moving in last week, and he doesn't have any furniture. Are you sitting Indian style in your apartment? Is it that kind of struggle?
I just kind of stand. I stand everywhere.
Do you really have lawn chairs in your living room?
There actually is one, yeah.
You're pathetic. That's ridiculous. We
haven't found a couch yet. Like I said last week, like our couch didn't fit.
Couldn't find anything during Alston Christmas. And if you don't know what Alston Christmas is, people just leave their shit out on the street.
Yeah.
Like for you literally to just pick up and take. You didn't find any heat. No. I always think about there's always like jizz or, any kind of uncomfortable substance on those things. I never want free furniture ever.
Yeah. Well, I'll tell you, me and my family went to IKEA this past weekend. Probably one of the worst shopping experiences of my life. I hated that place.
Because there's so many people there, all the college kids moving in and shit.
I had so much anxiety.
There's a lot happening.
Shit, yeah.
And everyone, and this is what I hate about shopping centers, or just going out. Even I noticed it at the grocery store yesterday. Everyone's in such a fucking hurry, and everyone's just like zooming by.
Well, there is the people that are in a hurry, but then there's other people that are like just kind of like lollygagging.
Oh my gosh, it's so funny you say that, because I saw a guy literally in the middle of the aisle with his AirPods on his phone, and I'm not kidding, Hurley. It was for a solid 2 minutes. Like I went to a different aisle, I came back, and the dude was like, hunched over like on his cart, and he was just like looking through his phone. I'm like, my guy, get the fuck out of the way.
Yeah, not the space.
What are you doing? You can find the podcast on all your favorite platforms: iHeart, Spotify, Apple Podcasts, YouTube. And if you can't find the podcast, probably consuming your content on some weird shit. So subscribe to one of the heavy hitters. Not waste your time, okay? Can we first talk about the video from Steve and Blue's Clues?
Oh, you know what? I've seen that all over Twitter, but I haven't actually seen the video.
I don't know. So. You might be too old, but it hit.
I'm aware.
I know, but I'm older than you. So he was, I think, I don't even know if I was too old for him. I think I had just gotten out of the stage where I thought that was, a little kiddish. But, oh, dude, the message just hit at the right point, and he's just, I missed him, you know? I think that was how all millennials were feeling. We were like responding to the video like we did back in the day. He's like, hey, can I talk to you for a second? You're like, you know what, man? Fuck yeah. Yeah, you can talk to me. I got all the time in the world for you, because I think Blue's Clues is celebrating 25 years.
Oh, is that right?
Yeah.
They're still making episodes?
Yeah, I think so. Oh. Well, I wouldn't know. I don't watch them, but I know I remember seeing a story years back about how they hired a new host. So I don't know.
Because I know Arthur they declared their last year or two.
Well, that deserved to go, but Blue's Clues is forever. That's how I feel. What, are you going to defend Arthur?
Oh my God, Arthur was my entire childhood.
Okay, well, Steve was my entire childhood. Did I get that right? That's his name, right?
Yeah.
Okay, good. Yeah. I just didn't want to get butchered in the comments, okay. I was like quadruple checking
your entire childhood, yet you didn't even remember his name.
Just there's so much fake news going on, man. I just wanted to make sure I was my own reliable source. I don't know. He was just talking about how much, we've all grown up, and he did kind of fall off the face of the earth. And I always get scared for people in those kind of positions, because they always seem to go south. Like I would read some story about Steve getting addicted to drugs and then, dying of an overdose. I'm like, fuck, dude. Like, this guy, I just don't like that kind of who would like that kind of story?
Yeah, of course.
But it was just good to see him back. And he's like, hey, I was just doing my thing. And look at you. Look at you were doing your thing.
Yeah.
Isn't that great? Everyone was just kind of, thriving in their own ways. And it was good to see you. And I haven't forgotten about you. I almost fucking crying in my apartment by myself. It's like, I know, I miss you too. It was everyone who like could relate to Steve and Blue's Clues felt the same way I did.
Nice.
So there was no way I wanted to start this podcast without mentioning Steve from Blue's Clues.
That's great.
It was really important. Today's going to be more of a lighter episode because I'm starting to get my brain back in order. So over the weekend, well, this would be when the episode drops, it would have been a week and a half ago. I went on this like little tour for my best friend's company out here called Fangirl Fantasy. And basically, I'll explain what the company is here in a second. But, we were just on the road. And if you were following me on Instagram, you're like, why the fuck is JD in front of like 1,000 people? Like, and he's still unemployed. I don't understand what's happening. This is like out of nowhere. Why is he playing Olivia Rodrigo? Good for you. If you're watching on YouTube, I put one of the pictures up. Shout out to Through It All Photo, who took this picture and a bunch of other dope flicks of that night. It was sold out in Richmond, the picture that we have up on the screen here. And so we went to Nashville, we went to Richmond, Virginia, and then we went to Washington, D.C., all 3 cities, 3 days. And it was crazy. It's one of my dreams to travel and DJ. I'm sure as a DJ yourself, Early, your dream is to travel the world and play for hopefully people. That's the inevitable goal. But I don't care how I get there. I don't care. I prefer probably to DJ for an artist that I like, which is the key. You want to DJ for an artist that it probably has great character and is a good person and is just and really enjoy their music. You have to be just as much of a fan of them and their music as they are because you're the one hearing it. You're the one making edits. You're part of the show. Mm-hmm. And so, but I don't care how I get there. And so, I have had the fortunate, I guess I've been fortunate enough to be a part of my best friend's company to be able to travel and DJ and shit at these venues. And by the way, so we're gonna start with Nashville. I'll talk about Nashville first. But listen, man, like the beauty about traveling, I don't know what it is, man. It's a rush. I love, and maybe I don't know how long it would wear off, but I love going to hotels. I love.
Have you been to Nashville before?
Yeah, I've been a bunch.
Oh.
And I love Nashville, dude. Nashville's the shit.
I've heard good things about it.
And it just bachelorette parties. It's basically like a cowboy Vegas.
Okay.
I saw on Broadway on like the big street, I saw this truck pulling a hot tub like in a cage.
Yeah,
I think I posted it on my story. And because you have to separate yourself because there are all these, pedal bikes and party buses. And so if you're one of these companies, you're like, how do I separate myself? Well, you throw a fucking hot tub in the back. It was crazy.
I don't understand the mechanics of that truck at all. And it comes to a quick stop. All that water momentum is just going all the way.
Correct.
All the way over the place.
Think about I think as a grown ass person, I think about the insurance behind it.
Yeah.
That's what I start tripping about. Like, man, I just started thinking about Geico don't give a fuck about the 15% when it comes to that. It's just it's so.
Or one of the State Farm.
Can I get a hot tub?
Yeah.
That's all I could think of when I saw it. But yeah, it's I don't know what it is. I love new food. Trying new food. I love trying whatever it is, and it doesn't have to be domestically, even internationally. I just love being a part of the culture of wherever I'm at. There's just something infectious about it to me. So I really get jacked up, especially if I'm on the road and I get to do something that I love. It's like it fills my cup, for sure. And so we go to Nashville. And by the way, there's a bar in Nashville called Tin Roof that has maybe the hottest people I've ever seen, like the hottest chicks I'd ever seen. It was this grimy ass college bar with the hottest girls I've ever seen in my life. Like, everyone knows in their life there are hot people, and then there are people who will make you uncomfortable because of how hot they are. You're like, for me, I'm just like, yo, I wish I never even saw you. Sorry. It's a scam. It's okay. Hold on. I'll turn my phone off. I really thought I put it on vibrate. Anyway, real life. Don't edit. Keep it in. So, it kind of threw me off a little bit. Yeah, so hot chicks, Nashville.
We're back on track.
Yeah, so it was this spot called Tin Roof, and it was dope. And I went there after the show, and let's chronicle it. So I'll tell you what Fangirl Fantasy is. So they're basically dance theme nights. And my best friend Julie owns the company, and she picks, specific themes, and there are themes that work every time. And then some that, she's testing out, like Backstreet Boys versus NSYNC, or, so for this specific tour, it was One Direction versus 5 Seconds of Summer. So we only play music from 5 Seconds of Summer and One Direction.
Okay.
That's it. We did a little break with like a TikTok that went viral where, we played Good For You and some other stuff, that's intertwined with those two groups. If someone dated someone or just a big song that was about someone.
Okay.
Were you going to ask something?
No.
Okay. No. And so there are these dance theme nights, and a lot of these people that go to the show, they've met each other. And specifically out here, there's a clique of my friends that all met at Jonas Brothers shows. They would go camp out in New York, and they would, find out where Nick Jonas is. It's super it was super creepy, you know what I mean? But this is what they just love doing. This is the shit they enjoy doing.
Yeah.
So they would, they would go, and some of them have gone, like our friend Heather went to I think 27 shows of the Jonas Brothers last year. Like, we were on the same plane together, and I was making a pit stop in Tulsa, and she was going to Tulsa to watch the Jonas Brothers. So, they're just fan girls.
Yeah.
They are just the over the top, they vote for everything for awards.
Mm-hmm.
They, are it is, I guess it's an addiction. That would be it's a lifestyle, right? And so, or there a lot of people, they follow the same fan accounts, or, they've been friends for a long time, or they've been friends for a long time online, but have never met in person. But the thing that kind of pulls them all together is this love for these groups or these people, Taylor Swift or whatever. And so before the pandemic hit, we had like 15, maybe even more dates than that to travel, Detroit, Pittsburgh, the Carolinas, a bunch of shit. And then obviously the pandemic hit, so a lot of these events got pushed back, and so we're finally able to do them now. And here's what I love about these events. First of all, selfishly, they give me the ability to travel and play music for, eventually, hopefully, will be thousands and thousands of people.
Yeah.
But they also hella challenge me, because I didn't know shit about. I don't know if you can tell, it's just not my genre. I'm more all Bay Area or nothing. And so, I had to learn, Julie would give me lists of shit to play, like, these are the fire songs for sure, and then these are, and what's dope about these events is that the people go crazier for the album cuts more than they do the actual singles. And I think a lot of people, if you love an artist, you're like, the song that they played on the radio was the weakest one on their album, because you find that you like other shit on their album. I don't know if you have an artist off top that you could think of like that, but I mean, there are just the deeper you can go in the crates, the more bananas these people go.
Yeah, well, especially because the ones that get played on the radio get absolutely
overplayed
beaten to the death.
Yeah, you get it. And so it challenged the way I DJ, because I'd be on stage playing these songs, and I would be hearing them for the first time myself, and people are losing it. So as a DJ, it fucks with my mind of I'm playing in my mind how you're going to react to the song that I'm about to play. I'm like, oh, this one's about to go off. So I'm like, I get to prep for the excitement.
Yeah.
It is the exact opposite with this shit. I'm like, I have no fucking clue what I'm doing. And then all of a sudden, everybody's like, yeah, my God. And they're, they're going crazy.
Yeah.
And it's such a backwards rewarding experience. So I have no idea. These first, 10 events. I had no idea what I was doing. You know, I'm learning the library. So as a DJ professionally, it challenged me to like, okay, what songs work? You know, what can I fit in between, you know, the heaters? You know, I got in my radio programming mode. So it was challenging in that way. Number two, it's a safe space where these people can just go and have a good time, bro. Like, people feel so entitled when they go out, you know, and I'll throw myself in there because I'm guilty of it. I don't want to go to a spot if I don't got a table or, you know, some kind of access, I would feel like, you know, because then you're crammed with people, or you're having to wait in line for an hour. You're already paying for drinks, you know, and I work in the industry, so I get a pass, but
I mean, they know exactly what they should expect too, as well, because it's like they know what tickets they bought, what artists they're going to be hearing.
Exactly.
It's different when you're going to a club. Maybe like all you hear is Latin music, and it's like maybe that's not your style, and you just wasted, you know, a whole night.
$20 at the door.
Yes, so much money just for not as good of a time as you were expecting. I don't know.
Yeah, and so these people come and they expect, you know, to have all, you know, whatever the feels are for them. And it's a safe space, dude. And when people can come in and have a good time, they're dancing with their friends, they're singing at the top of their lungs, like, and I mean singing at the top of their lungs all night. It's basically like a show or a concert, and somehow I'm the headliner. It's so weird to me. It doesn't make any sense. Like, the fact that, you know, we're putting on this show and people are just losing it. It's basically like a concert. I can't explain it to you. You legit have to just come out and see it for yourself, because I didn't understand it when I was doing it.
Yeah.
I was just like, what is happening? Like, why are people losing it? And they're just, and you know how people you would think would be getting hella tired after, you know, 20 minutes, and they want to sit down or they want to go to the, you know, go get a drink or whatever. No. These people that go to these shows, the ladies and gents that go to the shows, well, let me rephrase, the 98% girls and then the 2%
So I was going to
guys.
ask that. There were guys in there?
Yeah, if your boy, you know, if they decide to drag their boyfriend out or whatever it may be, or, you know, if
how did they look throughout the whole night?
Struggling a little bit, but, you know, they're in a room full of chicks. Yeah. So, you know, it's not the worst place to find yourself.
Well, I guess... Yeah, but it does sound like they're already taken, so.
Yeah, usually that's the case. Yeah, and so.
Single guys, now you know where to go.
Yeah, I'm telling you, you pull up to, especially, you know, like a Taylor Swift, like an all Taylor Swift night, you have women in their feelings, they're vulnerable, like, you know, they're looking for love.
And just memorize the lyrics.
Memorize the lyrics.
The full lyrics to one song, and you'll be good.
I'll be honest, they're not looking for shit. They're looking to have a good time with their friends.
Yeah,
and
that's true.
Their chance to relive this nostalgia. And some of these bands are actually, you know, who rarely tour together or who aren't together anymore. It's just it's a concert night, man. I don't know how to describe it. So when we were in Nashville, my job, other than to DJ the events, was to find the bomb food spot, because my friend Julie, she be like doing too much shit, and she's, you know, taking care of the actual work. And she's one of those people where we went to multiple bomb establishments, and we went to like the number one spot. It's called Milk and Honey in Nashville. And it was like the most majestic place. People are coming from the airport with their luggage. It's crazy.
What kind of food was it?
It was just like a American breakfast spot, you know? But they just have really good chicken and waffles, and it's just a really good brunch spot. And she got avocado toast. Like, what the fuck are we doing here? Like, we're in the number one spot. There's a line around the block, and you're getting avocado toast. She's like, just shut the fuck up and let me eat what I want. I was just like, but
what'd you get?
I got the hot chicken and waffles. By the way, my butt was just exploding all day. It was a tough trek. And so we did that for breakfast. We went to Martin's Barbecue, which is like the number one barbecue spot. It was just the food. I love food, and that's another reason why I love traveling. I want to know where the best spot is. So we went to another spot called Distillery before the show, and I got to see my old boss, Joe Breezy, who brought me out to Boston. He was working at the radio station, and then when I was done in Phoenix, he hit me up and brought me out to Boston. So he's in Nashville now, and he came out to the show and was like, what the fuck is going on? And, you know, their radio station did some stuff with us. We got to go by their studio. They had like my name on the TV screen. Shit that is just so backwards to me because I'm used to being in the seat of where people are coming in and I'm the one hosting. So it was very nice and also weird to come in and it's like, you know, hot 106 whatever, you know, welcomes JD from Fangirl Fantasy. I'm like, dude, this is so different.
Yeah.
You know, it was a different place to put my mind. And the venue was awesome. The green room was gigantic. And I drink at all these events, dude. I turn up. Like I really get after it because, you know, there's a bunch of, I just feel like I have to place my manlyhood somewhere, you know, like, not like that, but you know what I mean? Like, oh God. Like I need, for some reason, I just like, all right, I gotta be 33 up here. So I'm just
I know
like,
what you mean.
Yeah. So I get after it during these shows, and Nashville was rough. So I'm glad I bought Pedialyte the night before because the drive to Virginia the next day, 8 hours in the car. Oh my gosh, dude, I was just a fucking wreck. And I went out to that Tin Roof joint in Nashville and shit was so fire. And I ruined my Vans because people were stomping on them. And I just didn't care, dude. I was, you know, I met beautiful people. I think I met my wife. I think I counted here. I have it on my laptop 8 times. I'm just kidding. But like, it was just, I turned up. So we're driving 8 hours to Virginia the next day. I'm dying. Julie's doing fine. And by the way, Richmond was our next stop. And when we got to Richmond, I just have one question. Why do people live there in Virginia? Have you ever just traveled to a place and thought to yourself, I hope these people leave Virginia or leave this place to know how big the world is?
Why was Richmond boring?
I just feel like it's one of those spots where witness protection programs take place. Like I felt like if we had pulled over to the side of the road and, you know, met a random family, they'd be like, "Hi, we're the Millers." You know? Do you want a little joke on that? Just like, "Hey, we're the Millers." That's where I feel the Millers live, is Richmond, Virginia. Because you're driving to it and then all of a sudden buildings pop up.
Isn't that a college town? No? University of Richmond?
Virginia Tech and Virginia are like, I feel from what I remember driving by an hour or two outside of Richmond. But
yeah, I don't know. Maybe it's just one of those situations where it's like that's where their family is and they just never decided to leave.
It was small. It felt small town.
Okay. So
but I know Richmond, it was popping. And so, you know, I mean, we were on the road all day. So by the time we got to the hotel, we had to change immediately and just go straight to the venue. I'm like, dude, it's very rock starry. Like, I'm a fucking loser. But like for 2 seconds, it felt tight. You know, we're just like going in. We were like, oh, we got to change now, shower up, go to the venue, sound check. And my friend Julie, she sold out Richmond. So it completely sold out the venue, and the demand was so high that they moved the venue that we were at was downstairs, and they moved it to upstairs to get, I think, maybe 150 more people in there because the demand was so high. And I don't know what it is. Listen, my friend Julie is just a boss, bro. Like, she's doing things behind the scenes for her company where you're like, how are all these people knowing about it? So the marketing behind it, she knows how to target them. She knows, you know, the entire time, Hurley, she's, you know, DMing, you know, people that are going to the show or like hashtags, or if people are tagging that they're in Richmond, she's like, hey, if you want to come to the show tonight. But I mean, there's so much behind the scenes. You know how like Gary Vee is like hit up 1,000 million people a day and it doesn't matter if they say no. Like it doesn't feel like spam. So she's just on the grind. It's constant. It's nonstop. And it's really impressive, dude.
Yeah.
When you see someone who's really putting in the work and then gets rewarded with something like that, I can only imagine how she feels on something that she built, she marketed, she stressed about, working with venues, dealing with the insurance or the liability portion, dealing with the COVID stuff of how you now have to be vaccinated in order to get in, the proof of stuff, and how venues are now starting to integrate those rules and shit and those regulations of, some places you have to wear a mask the entire time. You have to mask and be vaccinated. It's just a different time for venues right now. So with all of that going on and just the logistics of, are people going to show up? That's the big thing. And Nashville was awesome. Richmond sold out, and it was crazy. And there was this TikTok that I reposted, but is going viral, where everyone's singing "Good for You," and just people are losing their fucking minds. And and then I got some DMs about some people that wanted to party after and shit. And they were people that were showing me messages on their phones in the crowd, and some were were asking me if I was interested in maybe some pizza, and if they wanted to bring the pizza up to our hotel room, if you get my drift.
Just a nice game night.
Just a game night. Just a game night.
Jenga.
Just to relax.
Some cards.
Yeah. Nothing too crazy. Yeah, that was shut down super fast. I'm just trying to be a good boy, and plus I feel Julie had, an AK or some kind of weapon. Some kind of weapon of mass destruction. And I don't even think any of these people who allegedly would want to come and deliver a pizza specifically to our hotel room would have been able to even pull up in the Uber or whatever it may be. I just can only imagine what real life, like what G-Eazy goes through, or, what Justin Timberlake went through or still going through, if that's what him and Jessica Biel are all about. It's just, it was kind of scary too, though.
Really?
You're just like, yo, you can get in trouble quick.
Yeah.
One false move, I don't know if people are plotting and shit, and I don't know what their intentions are. It's weird.
I mean, it's a cool confidence booster, to be honest.
Felt great earlier. Yeah. I felt fucking gassed, bro. I'm just gassed up. It was just some different shit, man.
Let's go. Love this for you.
So then that quickly ended, and we're on to D.C. for the final day. It's a couple-hour drive. We get to the hotel just enough to catch our breath, and we ate at this spot called the Hamilton. And then I sent you the IG story because I'm just begging the universe to let me meet a president. I was so close to the White House.
Yes.
I was like, yo, Biden, what's up? What's popping? I came a long way. Do you have a minute? Couldn't hear me. Mm-hmm. And I just love DC. Plus, I'm such a history geek. So I just loved being there. I get jacked up every time I see the Washington Monument or the Capitol pre-insurrection. And it was just, I love Washington, D.C. And so the show went great. I am always skeptical about the green rooms, not the one in Nashville, but the other green rooms we went, I didn't know where the cum stains were, or who was where the day before. Or
Do you get riders? Somewhere.
Yeah. So we got, bottles in the room, and the whole works.
Anything interesting on it, or is it just kind of?
I just want booze, man. Yeah. I'm pretty simple, dude. I think if I get to a level where I'm asking for organic peanut butter and sliced red peppers and all in hummus, jalapeno hummus.
Yeah, I would do a celery, carrots, and ranch dip.
Just a little platter, a little veg platter.
Yeah.
Yeah, I wouldn't be mad at that. It was.
Next time you'll know.
I'll put that on.
Just just 3 handles of Tito's and a veggie platter.
Because that makes complete sense. And it's not even, it won't even help you build your base. It's at least get I want one, you know what I'm going to ask for next time? I'd like 1 loaf of sourdough bread, please.
Freshly baked.
It expires at the end of the night, or some kind of baguette.
Okay. Yeah, that would help.
Imagine if someone had to go and get a fucking baguette. I'm pretty easy when it comes to that shit, and I hope that never changes. The bigger that these events get, or the bigger events that I do, I'm not like that. I just want to be able to sip and have fun with my friends. F, dude.
JD, someone's popular. Must be that girl asking for the pizza.
Bro, my phone is on fucking vibrate. Anyway, let me turn off things. Bear with me, everyone. What the fuck, man?
So, where are you? Let the people know where you're at when you come to Boston.
So, Boston on October 8th, we're doing a Taylor Swift, Olivia Rodrigo night at Bright Music Hall. And That's going to be crazy. It's almost sold out. So, that's going to be nuts. And we have another date in LA. We got a date and we have multiple dates in New York. And so, yeah, I mean, I would get your tickets quickly. Side note, I just want to throw out there, Julie got pulled over twice. And, you know, people from Boston, when they get tickets, they don't get it. You know, because they're so, they just have this narrow way of thinking, and it's just pure aggression all times.
Yeah.
When I get pulled over, I want the cop to know I'm scared shitless. I'm so sad. I'm concerned of why I got pulled over. I'm a bad person. You know, I want a mental breakdown right there. This cop in Virginia with an accent and was like, hey, you know, do I butcher the accent? Do I do it? Hey, do you know how fast you were going, ma'am? And she goes, or you know why I pulled you over? She goes, no, I don't know. You know, and she was just being such a dick.
Yeah.
And I was like, dude, he's trying to butter you up here, you know, to try to get out of it. You know, is there a reason why? Just like, hey, I'm really tired. I'm sorry. We've been on this road for 6 hours. We were just keeping up with traffic. Anything.
Yeah.
She's like, she basically, this is how Boston, when people get pulled over from Boston, they're just like, give me the fucking ticket. I knew what I was doing and fuck off. And that's just not the way to handle it. And so, of course, this cop knows that Julie was an asshole, goes, writes the ticket, comes back and is like, you know, you're going to have to go to court and, you know, or whatever, or pay this online. Or now all of a sudden this guy from Virginia is from Texas. And she's like, all right, cool, thank you. And you like, she just gave, I was just busting her balls. It was just like, yo, why didn't you even try to get out of it?
I feel like there's a gray area, though, because I feel like sometimes cops, like, they'll do that, like, expecting you to just, like, kiss their ass.
Do it. Oh, what do you have to lose?
I get your integrity.
Integrity of what? I would
not your integrity. Your dignity is what.
Do you realize that my insurance went up crazy from a ticket that I got like 5 years ago? Like, shit will fuck with your record.
Yeah.
If you get tickets, well, depending on obviously where you live, I don't know how all of that works out. But my ticket for here, my insurance went crazy up for a ticket from 5 years ago because 6 years is the limit before it leaves your record or whatever.
Wow.
So anyway, she just did a pathetic job. So if you get pulled over, just mooch your way to try to get a warning. I'm just trying to say. And then the second time in D.C., she did get a warning, but that cop was an asshole. Okay. So, you know, we're after the event in D.C., I'm wrapping things up here, by the way. After D.C., I want to go to the mall after, you know. Plus, I'm a little tipsy for sure. You know, so we go to the mall after, and, you know, we start at the Lincoln Monument, which, by the way, is so lit. Have you ever been to Washington, D.C. at 2 a.m. at these monuments?
Can't say I have, but I have been there at a time.
I mean, I think Georgetown is near it, but whatever it is, this shit is so cracking. So we get scooters, and we're going down the mall, and it's just the Lincoln Memorial is lit. And when I mean lit, I mean college kids. It's a party. I saw fucking 3 dudes in the reflection pool, like swimming.
No.
Which I believe has to be a federal crime, right?
Definitely is not legal.
Yeah, there's no way that's legal. And so they're like swimming, and they're like, dude, I'm so glad we're out here partying together. I'm like, you're in the fucking reflection pool, like Forrest Gump trying to find Jenny.
That's hilarious.
They were swimming, and there's no way that water is clean. Bet you the government puts some shit in there where if you go in there and you develop some kind of crazy disease and you become an alien.
Yeah, maybe he'll be a superhero.
Maybe that's how you get to being Deadpool or Superman or whatever. But yeah, so people are like swimming and it's just wild. And so it was very also peaceful once we got away from that. And during the day, you're having to swerve around people and shit like that. So it's just way better to do at nighttime. And the scooter was like $27 to rent. I'm not going to lie. It was pretty expensive, but it was worth it. I don't know if those fares changed during the day.
Wait, was it like one of those electric scooters?
Yeah, one of the electric.
For some reason, I was picturing like one of those like old scooters that people
like a Razor.
No, like the sit down ones that like old people ride.
Oh no, like like a shopping cart almost.
Yeah, kind of.
That'd be kind of lit. Maybe that's our side business.
Cruising around on those.
Yeah.
I'd love that.
It'd be way more convenient. Yeah. And by the way, when you're on these scooters, you can't get close to any of the monuments or any of the, as we tried to ride up to the Washington Monument, it like beeped and wouldn't, and it like basically stopped and wouldn't let you get close to it and made, you know, a loud noise. So that would, it censored it.
That's weird.
It was really interesting, which is really smart because I'm telling you, there were people hammered at the Lincoln Memorial. Hammered. I pulled up and
they don't have like security there?
There were 2 security guys as, you know, we were walked in because I'm a pathetic history geek and wanted to pay my respects to Abraham Lincoln, who, by the way, is so dead. I mean, he is like dead.
Yeah.
Like beyond dead.
It's been a couple hundred years.
Yeah. So, I saw a couple police officers that were just like roaming to make sure no one's peeing on the monument, I guess, or I don't know. No clue. But probably, like I said, people were just swimming in the reflection pool. Shit was just on fire.
That's wild.
And yeah, it was super fun to do. And I don't know, man. I love this shit. I want to do it forever. You know, that's what I learned from the tour. Even though my body was pretty beat up and I felt like I just went on a crazy bender, and if I was kept going at that speed, I'd probably be fat as fuck for sure. You know, and I'm proud of my friend for giving me the opportunity to be able to do that. She could pick anyone. She could pick people in markets. She could, you know, have an influencer, a popular influencer DJ do it. I'm probably the cheapest. I'm the cheapest route, but I don't know. It speaks volumes when your friends give you opportunities like that. And I think you got to be really grateful and acknowledge when your friends put you in positions to win. She did not need to do that and made me look like a fucking rock star in front of 1,000 people like you see behind me. Like, there's no reason for me to be there. And so she gave me that opportunity. I think that's tight. And so with the events coming up and stuff, I know a lot of people have hit me up about like tickets and shit. Yo, buy them, dude. Like, this is what I'm talking about. You know, I can understand if you want to, you know, come hang out or whatever, backstage or, you know, like before the show. But when it comes to going to these events or just events in general, you know, that your friends are putting on, even if they're putting on a dinner, a fundraiser or whatever, buy the fucking tickets, buy the merch, buy the things that they're selling, you know, if you want to support them, you know, show up, you know, you don't, you know, cause I think your friends, they're not telling you, but they're taking notes. They're taking notes of who's paying attention and shit like that. I'm not asking people to come out to these events. I'm just saying, learn from this scenario, from me specifically, of like someone who's grateful that their friend who owns this company and runs everything and does this shit for herself at 20 something, that she's giving me an opportunity to live my dream in order to put me on for other opportunities. I just think that's dope as fuck.
Yeah,
I don't know.
Perfect combination.
Right. And like I said, I'm the cheapest route. So you know, if she needs to let me go at some point, then so be it. So yeah, we're doing, I think New York is next, and then it's Boston, New York again, LA, and then, you know, some things that are going to be sprinkled in. So buy the tickets if you want to come to these events. Buy them. Buy merch. Support your friends. Buy their stuff. Send them a text to let them know that they're killing it. You know, give them a ring. Do something. Do that today. Do it right now. But I was just super fortunate to be able to be put in position to have fun. And if I have to get ridiculed for playing One Direction and Jonas Brothers and Demi Lovato, which, by the way, really don't care from Demi Lovato, is the most hot fire song out here other than We Found Love and a few other jams.
Wow.
You know?
Will we do an episode on that?
No. There's no need. I just wanted to point it out.
Okay.
Hey, when's the last time you heard Selena Gomez in the scene, Who Says? When's the last time? Who said? When's the last time you heard that?
Can't say I have ever.
Fire. Goes off in the club. Goes off. So, yeah, episode 22 of the It's Always Something podcast. Appreciate you tuning in, and we'll catch you next time, all right? West Side.